What's up? Another update today because we're seeing volatility. Markets are dropping a little bit. We are going to discuss the levels that we should be watching in order to see continuation on the bullish momentum, which is still the larger time frame perspective, and the bearish momentum, which is the smaller time frame perspective, which we are going to discuss on Bitcoin and Ether. During the next weekend, we are going to address the topic on how I mean some stuff on YouTube, how I'm trading Bitcoin and Ethereum too, and sometimes I see comments from you coming where I think you're misunderstanding what I mean by a certain tweet or certain stuff that I say on YouTube. That's what we're going to address during the coming weekend. Don't forget to subscribe beneath and like the YouTube update. I'm posting more than one time a day an update on the markets, and we're going to do that for the coming weeks at least. Live streams will be back, YouTube will be improving, it will be fun. So let's check what the markets are doing right now. And if you forgot, you've got a group beneath here where you can subscribe and become a member. I've been taking profit significantly in the past few days on at least Ethereum and some of my altcoins. And I'm looking to buy them back as soon as possible. What do we see? And I've got the chart from this morning on Bitcoin at this stage, as this is showing us literally where we're going at this point. So we've got deviation above the recent high, right? We've got a bounce back or a drop back into the range in which support has tested. Bounce, lower high, and we rejected the previous resistance as discussed earlier this morning. Another fall towards the next level of support, which was this previous high. And then, as we discussed, you want to break through this previous area of support. So this entire area that we had here, around 45.3, that is where you want to see it break through. And we couldn't at this stage. And if we were able to break through 45k, you were looking at this stage or the next lower high on the chart. So we reject, and you can see that we smack through the chart at this point, causing a significant drop of at least like 5%. And we are currently facing the next area of support, which is this previous high and this small order block slash breaker before we make this big move to the upside. As we did make this big impulse wave, there are not really support levels in between. So if we are losing the area at 45k, going back to 43.5 are just quite normal. Are we done at this stage? Well, then we are looking at the higher time frames and we see that we've got a bearish divergence here too, implying that we could be getting a further corrective move. Lower time frames build up towards higher time frames, and at this stage we are creating lower highs, lower lows. So the conclusion that we've made this morning with Bitcoin rejecting around this area, which it has been doing, is the fact that right now we are approaching support level 1, which is this entire green zone around 43.6, and the support level 2, which is around 43. Those two levels are the key right now. If those are lost, then I'm going to look at 41 next, and that is for me the breaker where I want to start longing heavily, as I don't really want to see it drop further down the line, as the only level we have got left there is 38k. But we are approaching a support level here, might have already touched it. That is step 1, but it's not changing momentum yet. But if you want to look for scalp trade longs, this is a level where you should be looking at. What are your take profits? Well, quite easy. You're looking at a range play towards 45k. Because, as a matter of fact, what you want to see is that 45k is reclaimed in order to sustain momentum. So from this level, bouncing to 45k, coming back down to support, seems the most likely case right now. We've just seen an impulse to the downside, bouncing to 44 high or 45k seems like accurate at this stage before we're going to fall further down the line. The construction is still lower highs, lower lows. So at this point, the only solution or conclusion that I'm going to get out of this chart is the fact that we bounce up to 45k, come back down to test support again, and if support got reclaimed, then we can conclude that buyers are stepping into the markets. It is not a conclusion that we are really going to 45k, but given the support level, it seems like a case that you want to see happening. If it doesn't, then most likely we're going to test 42 next. If it does squeeze there, we are looking at 41 next, and then you're probably getting stopped out of your scalp trades. At this range, I'm going to look for swing longs. So at this stage, we are trending south, which is normal after such a big run to the upside. Having some downwards pressure is just likely to be expected. Ethereum is also losing levels, as you can see, and I've discussed this chart earlier. Same conclusion can be done on Ethereum. Lower high rejection, lower high rejection support, lower high rejection support, bouncing south. Critical one to break at this stage for Ethereum. That is the level that you want to clearly break around 33,066, but more or less you want to see it crack this entire block here around $3,100. If that cracks, we are most likely going to reverse and continue the uptrend. But right now, given this construction, especially given the fact that we're not really at support with Ethereum either, we're going to look at a further corrective move, probably towards the area around 2960, but potentially even towards 28.5. That is the first level on a higher time frame that I'm looking at. But if we zoom out at this stage, we can conclude we've got a bearish divergence here, implying that retesting 29 is very normal to see happening. Implying as well that going further down is a likely case at this point, because based on the daily time frame, anything between 25 to 26.25 is literally where we should be looking at. Does that mean that I'm interested in longing Ethereum at this stage? No. Sometimes you have to be patient before you want to adjust towards the markets. Right now, lower time frames are indicating that we potentially might be dropping down some more with the markets. The first level that I'm watching with Ethereum to see whether we are not dropping further down is the area around 2950. If that holds and I see strength on Bitcoin, we might be done with the correction. But if this is failing to sustain support, I'm going to look at 26 to 25 next. So at this stage, we might be correcting further. I hope I've explained it well in this small update. And if I did, do not forget to like beneath. I'll see you again tomorrow.